Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending our presentation. My name is Jason, and I would like to introduce my team. Jiyu, Gary, Daniel, and Tanae. The first slide that I'd like to show you is what we intend to cover today. It's the outline. We're going to talk a little bit about the USECT. We're going to talk about Marshall's vision, the survey results, the deficiencies, the problems, the solutions, and the implementation. USECT, what is it? Well, it's Uncover the various potential problems, challenges, and opportunity vis-a-vis organizational goals. Select the most critical problems, challenges, and/or opportunities and prioritize them. Create a multitude of potential solutions. Choose the solution or solutions that have the potential to be the most effective. And translate your solutions into an effective implementation plan. Talking a little bit about the Marshall School of Business's vision, we've highlighted the pertinent parts that we feel you should focus on. The first one is educating tomorrow's global business leaders, addressing critical problems facing business and society, both locally and across the world, and fully activate our distinctive assets so that USC Marshall becomes a global hotspot for education. Utilizing Marshall's current vision, we've actually conducted a survey, and we feel like we've identified, using that survey, some of the deficiencies with Marshall's current vision, and we'd like to share those survey results with you. 60% of Marshall students say that less than 50% of their friends are international. In a group of international students at USC, 61% said that their friend groups were mostly international. 61% of students interviewed think that international business means literally doing business internationally. 46% of students plan on doing international business, yet they have the right mindset and they don't know why it's important or what the value is. 75% of Marshall students think they should be required to take a language. Now that we've covered some of these survey results, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce my colleague, Jiyu, which will go over the deficiencies as they're outlined in Marshall's current vision.
Okay. Let's analyze USC Marshall School of Business current vision deficiencies. As touched upon by Jason, the survey results portray that students do not feel that their Marshall education is as globally focused as it can be. The second, the opportunity to immerse themselves in a foreign culture is not available to all Marshall students. The survey further showed us that Marshall students are unaware about global issues and lack the knowledge to deal with them. Thirdly, Marshall is trying to become a global hotspot for education, and this cannot be achieved by only increasing the number of international students. Through improving the interaction between the local and the international students, Marshall classes themselves can be the global hotspot. The survey results have allowed our group to discover 3 analyzing causes that contribute towards the deficiency with Marshall vision. So the first is about the culture and the language. Lyndon Johnson, in his message to Congress about global education, said that international education cannot be the work of one country. It calls for free exchange of information and full collaboration, and only grows when the information is shared. The survey showed us that the most students hang out in the group that associate with their own culture and language. This prevents exchange for information due to their language barriers. The second part is about the value of international business. The code emphasizes that the only way to be international is to be interact between multiple cultures. George Bush, while speaking on the International Education Week, says that by studying foreign culture and language and living abroad, we gain a better understanding of the many similarities that we share and learn to respect our difference. The survey also shows us that most Marshall students do now understand the value of a global business, so they are now well equipped to become tomorrow's business leader. Finally, it's about the student body vision. The student body needs to realize that it is not only about the grade, it is about becoming international consistent. The administration need to believe that and advocate this as well. So I'm now pass over to Gary. He will talk about the solutions.
Thank you, Ziyu. After using the USCCT method to analyze the problem, we have come out with a number of the potential solutions that we believe can be effectively address what we found. First, the first solution is the extension of the LINK program. LINK program stands for Learning about International Commerce. LINK is an international program which provides opportunity for the freshman student to study and visit a foreign economy. And additionally, there could be a language requirement aimed at the challenging student to choose a language that they believe will have an impact on their professional careers. This is also room for the student study abroad program, which could be provide an opportunity to learn about the culture, history, politics, and economic and business studies of this country. And also, this is an opportunity for the student discover another culture and learn to speak a different language. We could also implement peer tutoring and monitoring is a new program that focuses on the student mentors, and this program would provide students with the knowledge and the skill to succeed in the global economy. Regarding the peer tutoring and mentoring, these are programs to help students to practice foreign language in a better ways. Mentoring would be help students to have better understanding foreign culture through students' own mentors. Lastly, we also got the language lab, which will provide the experiential aspect to learning language and applied learning. Now, we have discussed the possible solutions, and I am going to hand it off to Daniel.
We have identified language as the crux of building a truly international business school, and we believe that Marshall can greatly enhance the diversity of its business curriculum by either requiring or at least providing the option for students to take a language. Different from the way language is required and offered in other schools, Marshall's language program should mirror the experiential learning practices that Marshall uses in many of its other classes. That all being said, the program can be radically different from the language programs of other schools. It's hard to learn when you don't want to learn, and it's even harder when you don't know anything about it. So to cultivate interest in the global economy early on, Marshall can utilize its LINK program more effectively. It is also worth considering including the cost of this trip in tuition so that 100% of the freshman class not only takes the course to educate themselves on a foreign economy, but also will have the greatly beneficial experience of seeing businesses in that country firsthand. I went on LINK to Mumbai, India freshman year, and I can personally vouch for the fact that this trip was a phenomenally eye-opening experience to have freshman year. It also served as great PR for Marshall because none of my other friends at freshman year went on any trip with their school, let alone a trip to India. In addition to the freshman year immersion, which is geared more towards cultivating curiosity and learning about international business, it can also be beneficial to take advantage of the study abroad program. The semester abroad is where the experiential learning aspect comes into play. Marshall can offer a program to go abroad to a country that speaks the language that the student studied. Doing this would provide a number of benefits. Firstly, the student would have an opportunity to be immersed in a foreign culture, giving them the chance to become fluent in that language and fully understand the ways that culture works. Secondly, they'll have the opportunity to make great international connections. And lastly, they'll have the opportunity to identify trends and opportunities abroad. This would help to create one of, if not the most internationally influenced student bodies possible. Lastly, Marshall can utilize the ELC to create a number of exercises and activities revolving around international business and cross-cultural communication. This language lab would be a place where both American and international students could work together, learning new languages and cultures, while ultimately fostering more meaningful relationships between the internationally diverse student body. Imagine a graduating class from Marshall that had all studied and been to a foreign economy freshman year, had all lived in another country junior year, and were fluent in at least 2 languages. This is the kind of international business education that Marshall is fully capable of achieving, and I will now pass it over to Tanay, who will discuss how Marshall can take the appropriate steps to get there.
As Daniel mentioned, language is the overarching issue that, if dealt with, can help push Marshall move towards achieving its vision. The research conducted of Marshall School of Business suggests that there is a disconnect between the current state of Marshall and its vision. Language is a requirement in most programs at USC, and thus it is perplexing that it is not mandatory at Marshall. A vision that is trying to educate tomorrow's business leaders and create a global hotspot for education needs a language requirement. We decided to stagger the steps taken, which would allow us to monitor the benefits of each step in itself. Although Marshall currently has no room for a language over the 4-year course, we believe that switching out a GE class for a language could be implemented as an option. Marshall has 2 fantastic programs, Link and Study Abroad. These programs allow students to experience different cultures for the first time. A drawback to Link and Study Abroad is the small number of Marshall students participating in these programs. We believe that making them both mandatory could heavily benefit Marshall students in increasing their experience with different culture. The implementation of making Link and Study Abroad mandatory should be relatively simple due to the fact that these programs already exist. Marshall currently offers opportunities to students to intern at various countries like the UK, India, and Australia. An expansion of this to help send a lot more Marshall students to countries in conjunction with the language they study will further develop business leaders as it provides invaluable experience. We believe that setting up a program that pairs international students with American students would be beneficial to both parties. An exchange of information can occur that will allow both sets of students to develop a better understanding of each other's culture. The incentivization of this program by promising 1 credit could help make sure that it is taken seriously. Therefore, in conclusion, we believe that the underlying issue we uncovered is language. After doing research, we proceeded to the solution that would help resolve the barriers between international and local students, namely a language requirement at Marshall. Finally, thank you for your time, and don't forget to fight on!
Thank you, Ziyu. After using the USCCT method to analyze the problem, we have come out with a number of the potential solutions that we believe can be effectively address what we found. The first solution is the extension of the LINK program. LINK program stands for Learning About International Commerce. LINK is an international program which provides opportunity for the freshman student to study and visit a foreign economy. And additionally, there could be a language requirement aimed at the challenging student to choose a language that they believe will have an impact on their professional careers. This is also room for the student study abroad program, which could be provide an opportunity to learn about the culture, history, politics, and economic and business studies of this country. And also, this is an opportunity for the student discover another culture and learn to speak a different language. We could also implement the peer tutoring and monitoring. Peer tutoring and monitoring is a new program that focuses on the student mentors, and this program would provide students with the knowledge and the skill to succeed in the global economy. Regarding the peer tutoring and mentoring, These are programs to help students to practice foreign language in a better way. Mentoring would be help students to have better understanding foreign culture through students' own mentors. Lastly, we also got the language lab, which will provide the experiential aspect to learning language and applied learning. Now, we have discussed the possible solutions and I am going to hand it off to Daniel.